Um, I want a more like balanced diet.
Why do you think you can't have a balanced diet as a vegan?
It's not the type of balance that I'm looking for, you know?
But do you agree that animals should have rights?
Right. So yours is more so related to your like empathy for animals. Mine is more so related to like nutritional diversity.
Well, but are you
Your
are
reason.
you saying that vegan you can't be healthy on a vegan diet?
Um, I think there's a lot more constraints based on my dietary needs.
Why are your dietary needs different than like the rest of humanity?
Well, I no, I mean, I'm not I'm not unique, right? Someone who was like born in the Congo, right, would have different dietary needs than me versus someone who was born in Belarus. Um,
How would they have different dietary needs? It's like basically we all need calories and we need certain macro and micronutrients, and you can achieve all of that on a plant-based diet. So I'm just like not understanding what the necessity for harming animals is.
well, I do think that we live in. It's not just about how we live, but uh, you don't think that it's okay to hunt. I believe in mass. I believe that mass production is harmful. Um, to everyone involved. But you don't believe that, like, if you had a bow and arrow per se, you shouldn't go out and hunt a deer because you're harming the deer.
Yeah, I mean, why would I kill like an innocent animal that values their life and isn't like, I mean, imagine you're the deer, like you're prancing along in the forest. I actually love.
Deers don't give a. Sorry, I didn't mean to cut you
Oh
off.
no,
Let me tell you something.
all right, go ahead.
Deers do not give a fuck. I think Bambi has contributed to like a disadvantageous like and what is it called, anthropomorphication.
So they do value their life. They
Says who?
they have an interest in living. They're sentient. We know that they're sentient. They avoid pain,
Right.
avoid suffering. They they seek out ways to survive. So the thing is, like the main premise, the philosophy of veganism is just to extend human rights to all sentient life forms within reason. And there's no from the human rights baseline, there's no morally substantial difference between us and any other animal that makes it okay to do that to one but not the other.
Okay, so should the lion apply a moral standpoint? Sorry, come from a moral standpoint when they're like hunting down the gazelle.
Well, lions are not moral agents in the way that we are. So I agree. I think we should try to create technology to end predation. Like that stems logically from my position. Like eventually we should try to end predation, but also we shouldn't model our moral system after what lions do because lions do a lot of things like rape each other, eat each other, walk around naked. That's nothing else we would model our behavior after.
Right, and this is why I do my best not to overconsume and to be more careful about the source of my meat. I also really enjoy, not enjoy, but seek halal options.
That's actually
Um,
worse. Like in terms of what physically happened, like it's all bad, but there's gonna actually be more chance, or actually guaranteed chance of suffering under halal than the industry standard, which is pneumatic bolt gun. because the thing with the pneumatic bolt gun is, and I'm not trying to argue for welfare at all, but at the
I was gonna say, like,
yeah,
under halal standards, the welfare of the animals
like, at
are
the very least,
better.
with the bolt gun, you could think, "Okay, this might actually stun the animal to the point where it's possible that they are not gonna, like, feel getting stabbed in the throat." But with halal, they actually just hold the animal down and drag a knife across their throat while they're without stunning them at all. And you have to ask yourself, would you want to die that way?
No, of course not.
So, like, I halal does not make anything any better. It makes it's arguably worse,
I
but
think the means of death is worse, but the overall treatment of the animals tends to be better.
no, that's not true because they can't actually I understand, like, that the passage in the Quran has very specific rules set for how a halal animal is raised, and actually, this is something that it's like this big scandal in the Muslim world because they can't actually physically with for the demand of halal meat that there is, they can't actually raise animals by those standards to meet that demand. And there's not supposed to be such thing as a like halal like slaughterhouse. Like animals are not supposed to be enclosed. This is all
Right.
per the Quran, what the Quran says, but
Mhm.
still why should we care what the silly book says? It's the animal. If you believe that animals should have rights, then they should have the right to not be murdered. You know.
Yeah, maybe I just simply don't believe the animals should have rights. Maybe I don't I don't care. I don't
And
care enough.
that's that's
Hmm.
that's the most honest thing that anyone could say, and most people don't want to admit that they don't care. But
Yeah. Yeah.
the question is, do you care about logical consistency with from your moral baseline with your principles.
Hmm.
And
And the thing is, oh, go ahead.
oh,
Hmm.
okay, is just because you said yes to that, I would say so. You do believe in human rights? Would you say that's your moral baseline?
I believe in human rights, and actually, I do believe in some, of course, some animal rights.
Hmm.
I do. Like,
Yeah.
yeah, I do.
So
I
like,
don't believe. I don't. I don't believe in. I actually don't believe in like. It's not that I don't believe in it, but I question the necessity of putting down pets. I
hmm
think that's a little bit strange to me because you don't want to prolong their suffering. I think that animal right maybe should be extended to humans.
I agree. I don't. Most vegans would say that yes, humans should have the right to medically assisted death with dignity. But I think that's kind of a mute point in terms of like because those killings for the animals are out of mercy. It's not out of exploitation. Um, and they're generally like you can consider them painless. But my so what I'm thinking is if you believe in human rights, what is what is the morally substantial difference that makes it okay to do to one but not the other?
Consumption,
Right, but
nutrients.
we can
Like I can.
say the same thing about but see if that's the trait that you're gonna name, we can say the same thing about humans. Some people will just say, "Oh, well, I wanna eat a human, so I can get nutrients, I can get sustenance from them." So does that make it okay to farm and eat humans?
No, I don't think so. Especially as another human. I don't know. Most gazelles wouldn't eat another gazelle, right? I mean,
Well,
chickens eat
it
each other.
but if you I'm just so the philosophical equation is called name the trait, right? And
Mhm.
you named the trait. You said, "Oh, I can get nutrition from the animal." So if we can get nutrition from, if you're going to use that as your morally substantial trait, then we can get nutrition from humans. So therefore, if you're gonna stick by what you just said, you'd have to bite the bullet. To be logically consistent, you'd have to bite the bullet and say,
Mhm.
okay, I'm either okay with holocausting humans for food, or I don't think that that is a reasonable trait to name for why we should holocaust animals.
I don't think it's reasonable because we don't actually need, like, we don't actually, it's not necessary. Like, during extreme measures, humans have been known to consume
So,
other humans, and one could argue, right? I know what you're going to say. One can argue that we don't actually need to eat meat. I would say that everything that a lot of vegans preach nowadays have only about sorry about not consuming meat comes from a place of um, in some ways moral superiority, and it's a very like Western notion of thinking. I'm not saying that there are not places around the world that aren't completely vegan. There are people around the world who eat limited meat. I used to live in lots of these places, right? That they believe in like ethical consumption of of other sentient other sentient beings. And like I mentioned earlier, like a more well balanced diet based on what's available to them.
mhm.
Um, yeah, go ahead.
Oh, I don't think just because someone believes in something that makes it like morally correct.
Hmm.
Whether regardless, I understand if you're talking about a thing about necessity, that's, I don't know what the name of that particular fallacy is called. I keep looking it up and then I forget it, but I call,
Yeah,
yeah,
there's a lot.
what?
There's a lot of logical fallacies.
Yeah,
It's hard to remember the names of all of them.
I call it the Saw fallacy. Have you seen the movie Saw? It's a horror movie.
Yes.
Yeah, like the guy, he puts the two people in the jigsaw and they're pinned against each other, you know, and one of them is gonna have to sacrifice part of themselves and the other person's life in order to get out. Um,
Hmm.
so the basic, I call it the saw fallacy because it's this whole idea of, oh, you know, because this one group might not have so many options and they're forced to eat certain things, that means I should be allowed to do whatever I want. It's kind of like that. It's like, well, oh, in this one scenario, I had to murder a person and cut off my own leg or whatever, you know, just to survive. Does that make it okay for me to do it in the context of the society that we're in now? And obviously, everybody would just be like, no, absolutely not, you know? So,
In the context of the society in which we live, like you are from well educated states, one of the most well educated states in the country with high literacy rates. Um, you likely, sorry, I don't want to make assumptions, but I will make some assumptions based on how you speak and where you're from. You probably come from uh, a county with a high property value and public, like really well developed public education and limited food deserts per se,
mhm.
right? You have a lot of time to think about things like this, right? About, the injustices in the world and live the life that you want to live.
You know,
Based.
can I just stop you real quick?
Mhm.
I just wanna say you're absolutely spot on about all of that. You know,
Okay.
you're very tuned in to what's going on. But what that tells me is that, you're very intelligent. and you actually probably are somewhat, I'd say you sound pretty well educated. I certainly think you have a degree and that you had some opportunities. I'm not going to make too many assumptions. I know a lot of people work really hard for where they're at, but um, I think that you have just as much time and ability to think about these things and to, you know, come to the the conclusion that we shouldn't like harm animals. Like we shouldn't hurt animals, right? When we have the option to do something else.
What is the option? So like, okay, this is a very I like conversations like this. I had vegan friends. I've had vegan friends. I had a vegan friend. She's like biracial from Virginia. One of my best friends, he was from Belarus. We don't talk anymore due to some differences, but we were very, very close for a long time. And he used to be a strict vegan. Then we started eating cheese again. We used to eat pizza
Mm,
together. Like he just couldn't stay away
mhm.
from the cheese. But outside of that, strictly vegan, just cheese and honey sometimes. I'm guessing you don't eat any cheese, no honey,
Right.
no animal products.
No, no, yeah, so for me, and I would say this for anyone who I think is truly vegan, it's not just a diet, it's a moral philosophy. That,
Right.
diet is one branch of that.
Yeah. Right. And it's about like not it's about applying the same morals to all sentient beings as you would to humans, mostly.
Right, exactly.
Right. That's my thing. I'm logically consistent. I believe in slapping bitches and stabbing them. So
But if they deserve it.
yeah, yeah.
Yeah, like if a
Yeah, that's the thing. No, no, no. It doesn't matter. Deserving is subjective. Let's really be consistent.
but, like,
Like,
if you're gonna get it, like, if a bear is gonna attack you, obviously, I think it's reasonable to shoot the bear, we're not saying I don't vegans aren't saying
right.
to be pacifists, they're saying extend human rights to all sentient life forms within reason. We're not trying to give them
Yeah.
the right to vote or to drive.
Sorry, my speaker just got like
Static.
crackly.
Yeah, I hear that. It's better not. I mean,
You don't want to talk about the real shit movie. Hello.
I don't know.
It's okay.
Yeah.
I,
Well, hey, if you in case the static keeps up, look up I posted my name. You can look up my single. I don't know if you're on Instagram, but I'll give you my Instagram in case you ever want to continue this.
I used to date a former vegan, Louis.
You dated a vegan?
He was a vegetarian when we started dating. He used to be a vegan. And I was looking at he's German. He's from, like, he lives in Berlin. But we were still friends, and he stopped being vegan. But when he first went vegan, I mean, it was like I'm posting everything that I possibly can about veganism. In some ways, it's almost like it's like a moral cult.
It's a moral. I mean, but here's the thing: who's the leader? I mean, because the thing is, you have to think what makes veganism any more of a cult than, say, the any the way people are in society right now, like indoctrinated into killing animals, like, and it's the greatest atrocity in history, but just by the sheer number, and the way that they're treated, um, just as bad, if not worse than any of the human atrocities, and it's been going on the longest. So, how's that not a cult? You know?
Yeah, I don't make. I, no, I won't say that because I don't have a way of revising it to sound kind. So I won't say it. Okay. Are we still connected?
It's like coming in and out.
Yeah.
Now I can't hear you at all, but I sent you a friend request in here, so and it is getting late, but we should pick this up because this has actually been one of the better one of the better vegan discussions I've had.
Idea. Fuck what you talking about. You already know what the fuck going on. We eating steak all day. Fuck you, Louis.
Yeah, you know what time it is, but
Yeah. Okay.
all right, Mirdy.
No.
Well, hopefully we talk again soon. Have a,
Okay. Good night, Louis.
have a great evening.
Sleep well. Thank you for the song.
All right, bye.
Bye.